This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. So today we'll start with our next module is datetime module. Okay, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
And the screen is properly visible? Okay, thank you. Okay, datetime module. Okay, using this module, we can find out the system date and time, and we can also modify those date and time values. Okay, that is, we can use the date and time in our programs, but we cannot modify the system date and time. Okay, so you can retrieve the system date and time from the system using this module, and we can use the date and times within our programs. Okay, displaying of a date and time and displaying of a different things. Okay, so that we can do with the date time module. Okay, so next we will see what are the things we can access with the date time module. Okay, so datetime has the different classes in this datetime module are, one is the date class, we have time class, okay, datetime class, time delta class, and TJ info class. Okay, these are the different classes we have in the datetime module. Okay. Next, okay, this is a small example of using this datetime class module. Okay, from the datetime module, we are importing the date class. Okay, date class is imported from the datetime module. Okay, now, okay, we are creating a one date object. That is, with our own date, we are creating a object. Okay, 2013 is the year, 8 is the month, 22 is the day. Okay, so with these information, we are creating a date object. And for retrieving of a year, we are using a d dot year. For retrieving of the month, we are using a d dot month. For retrieving of the day, d dot day. And strf of time, that is, this is a method which is used to show the date in the form of a string. Okay, so with this year, month, and date, we are showing our date of the date object. Okay, so then it shows the 2013-8-22. This is the year that we retrieved, and this is the month retrieved, and day, and this is the complete date. Okay, so like this, we can use the date class to create the different types of date objects and to retrieve the information from the date class. Okay. Okay. So now to get the current today's date, we can use the datetime date class like this. Date dot today. Today is a method which is used to access the today's date. Okay. So directly you can retrieve the date, current today's date. And this is the time class. Okay. Time class of the datetime module. And you can create your required time object with your required time value. 2 hours, 30 minutes, 45 seconds. And you can retrieve those values with a t dot hour, t dot minute, t dot second, and you can display the complete time with the help of a strf time. Okay. So it shows the output like this. Okay. So required individual values or the complete time. Okay. Okay, this is the time class in the datetime module. And datetime class in the datetime module. Okay. So if you want to create a object with a both date and time, okay, individually for the date and time we have a different classes, and for the combined date and time we have a class for date and time, date time class. Okay. So using this you can create the object with the all date and time. Okay, date and the time. Okay. So you have all the variables to access the date and the time. Okay, hour, minute, second, day, month, year. Okay, and with the strf time you can display the complete date and time. Okay, and now we are creating a same another date time object. Okay, this is also the same time delta. Okay, So this using a time delta, you can represent the similar information. There is no difference. Okay. So just you can change the year values and time values in the different format. Okay. But there is no specific difference from the date time and time delta. Okay. Next. Okay. So here using this time delta, okay, we are adding the some days to our date. Okay, here we created the date object with a specific date and time. Okay, then for this date object, okay, time delta of days of 5. Okay, that is we are adding creating a date with the 5 days. Okay. And for this dt, this is added, the 5 days is added for this date. Okay. So ad date dot strf time, it shows the 5 days after date and time. Okay. So initially we created the date at the 21st, and whenever you are added the 5 days to that, you will get the 26. Here 5 days is added and you will get the same time after the 5 days. Okay. So using this time delta, you can create a time object with the number of date and time object with the number of days, and using that we can add to the required date objects and time objects. And next one, so yeah, just we are subtracting the number of days. Okay, the previous example adding the days, and in the current example we are subtracting the 2 days from the current date. Okay, dt is already the date which is created with the 21. Okay, now we are subtracting the 2 days, you will get the 19 as the date. Okay. So using this time delta, you can perform the additions, subtractions, and other updations of the date. And we can compare the dates also. Okay. So add date is with the addition of a 5 days, and subtraction date is with the subtraction of a date, and that too we are comparing. Add date is greater than the subtraction date, it's a true. Okay, you'll get the result as the true. Okay, this is the date time module. Okay. So using this date time module, you can create the date objects, you can create the time objects, and using the date time class, you can create the object with the complete date and time values. Okay. And using the today function, you can retrieve the current day's date. Okay. And using the time delta, you can perform the addition and subtractions and comparison of the dates. Okay. So this is the basic information about the date time module. Okay. Next module is the data compression module. Okay, using this data compression module, we can compress the data or we can decompress the data. Okay, that is, we can reduce the size of the data or we can increase the size of the data, or we can get the actual data. Okay. So these two can also be used. Okay, using the date and time object, you can get the today's date and time complete. With the date object, you will be get the only date. With the date time object, you will be get the complete date and time of the current system. Okay, date time dot today. Okay, then you will be get the complete date and time of the system. Okay. So next we will go through the data compression module. Okay, data compression module is used to compress the data in the different formats. Okay, that is, you can compress the data as a using the modules is the JLib. Okay, the zipping of a zipping library, and gzip and bz2 zip file, tar file. Okay, either you can compress your data as a tar file. Okay, tar is generally used for the Ubuntu operating systems, archive file for the Ubuntu and the Linux operating systems. Zip file is for the Windows, and bz2 is also for same gzip and JLib. Okay, just you can use any of these modules and we can zip the data into the compressed data, and again we can retrieve the uncompressed data. The main use of these is for the requirement for the compression and decompression of the data. Okay, and that can be compressed the data can be used is either string or your object or your file data can be compressed. Okay, generally we'll use the WinZip as the software in our systems to compress the data, that is which reduces the size of the data. As in the same way, our program data can also be compressed by using these libraries. Okay. Next, so compressing of a string data. Okay, so string data I want to compress. Okay, here once after compressing the data, okay, you can be observe the information is as a decimal, there is numbers and alphabets combination. Okay, you cannot be view the actual data as in the compressed data. So we can see a different data. Okay, so but it is not readable. Okay, so we can assume that this is the compressed data, that is which takes a very less size compared to the actual string. Okay, so here we are using a library is the JLib library, and another one we are using a binary to the ASCII. So binary ASCII conversions module and JLib module. Okay. So here we are taking a data as a hello world is our string to be compressed. Now JLib dot compress. Okay, we are calling a compress function of the JLib, and we are giving our required data to be compressed, and 2 is the value. Okay, this is the level of compression. Okay, so here the levels are given, where level 1 is the lowest level of a compression, 9 is the level 1 is the fastest compression, okay, and low level compression, and 9 is the slowest compression, and it is the highest level of a compression. Okay, so either we can use from 1 to 9 different levels. Okay, if you are required the highest fast compression, then you can use the 1, or if you are required the slow compression and highest compression, then you can use the 9. Okay, in between you can use any of the number for the compression. Okay, if it is the -1, okay, which is a level 6, okay, which is called as the default compression. Okay, if you are not giving this value, that is if you are just leaving this argument as an optional, okay, then it will be considered as the 6. So then that is the normal compression. Okay, so -1 or 6 is the same, minus the default compression and normal compression. Okay. Okay, now our output of this is original data is the data, that is our given string. Binary ASCII of hexlify the compressed data, that is we are showing our compressed data as a hexadecimal number, as hexadecimal form of information. Okay, so using this binary ASCII module, we are displaying our data in the form of a hexadecimal value. Okay, now this is our output of the hexadecimal number, compressed data. Okay, hello world is the input data, and compressed data is this hexadecimal number. Okay. Okay, this is a simple example for compressing of a string data into a compressed information. Okay, so or you can check the size of this also. Okay, you can check the size of our actual data, and you can check the size of your compressed data. Okay, you should be getting the difference in the sizes of the data. Okay, then only we can say that it is compressed. Okay. Next, compressing of large streams of data. Okay, so for this large streams of data, will we use the large streams is nothing but objects. Okay, object data. Okay, for that you can use a function is compress obj, compress object. Okay, level is default is the -1. Okay, it's equal to the 6. Okay, so method is deflated. Okay, and W bits is 15, and the memory level is 8. Strategy is Z default strategy, and Z dictionary. Okay, so that is the what are the method to be used to compress the data. Okay, it's a default method is deflated, that is default compression of the object. Okay, so W bits, that is window bits, are window bits. Okay, that is the number of bits that is to be used at a time to compress the information. Okay, at a time it uses the 15 bits to compress the data. Okay, and memory level, okay, that is what level of a memory to be used for this data, that is 8 is the 1 byte, And strategy is jet default strategy. That is what strategy to be used to compress the data. Okay, either dictionary, JDict is the dictionaries, or it can use the default statuses. Okay, these all arguments are the optional arguments. Okay, so because you are giving already default values, so that you can specify your required value or you can leave them all. Okay. We'll see the example with that. JLib library is imported, and binary ASCII hello world is the string data. Okay, just the data is considered as the here object, and that as an object it is compressed. Previously we compressed as the string. Here the data is considered as the object, and that is compressed. Okay, and here it is. We are calling the method compress obj function jlib.jdefault compression. That is, we are using a default compression method, and jlib.deflated, that is deflated method is used, that is a default method, and w bits are used is the 15, that is window bits is the 15. And now we are compressing the data, that is we created the object for the compression, and now we are using this compression method, we are compressing the data. Okay, compress method, this is the compress object which is created with the all these properties. Okay, and using that object we are compressing the data. Okay. So now compress.flush, just remove all the information that is already available, that is previously available information, print the original data. Okay. Print the actual original data. That's, sorry, here this line should be in the next line. Okay. Compress data plus compress.flush. That is just we are adding this information with a flush, that is it creates the actual compressed information, plus flush is nothing but after that it should not be, there is no garbage values, so that removing the garbage values which are after the compressed data. Okay, those garbage values are removed. Okay. So print the original data. Okay, it shows the hello world. Compressed data is a hexadecimal number. Okay, this is the hexadecimal number of the compressed data. Okay, this is compressed with the object. Okay, and this is the original data. Okay, this is the difference between the compressing the data as a string and as a normal string data. Okay, here you have the less number of ASCII and hexadecimal values. Next we will see compressing of a file. Okay. Okay, using the same method, compress method, we will use to compress the file. Okay. So similar method, but in the place of a data will be give the file name. Okay, file information. Okay, then it compresses the data. Okay. Yeah, this is the our file compression. So JLib is the live module that is imported, and here we are using a file says open logo.png. This is our image file to be compressed. Okay, the file is opened in the read and binary mode. Okay, because we are not opening as a normal character string file. This is opened as a binary string file. Okay, because the binary string file is very useful to compress the data. Okay. So .read. Okay, this file is open, then we are reading the data from the file. Okay, that is stored into the original data variable. Okay, now we'll compress with that. Compress the data. jlib.compress of original data. This is our data from the file, which is retrieved from the file, and we are using the method is jbest compression method. Okay, this is generally used for the files. Okay. And compress ratio. Okay, here we are checking that how much of the data is compressed, that is how much percentage of the data is compressed. Okay, float of length of original data, so original data length minus length of compressed data. Okay, compressed data length. Okay, okay, divided by the length of the original data. Okay, so now here we'll get the compression ratio. that is converted as the percentage, and that we are showing as the output. Compressed is 13%. Okay, that is from the 100% of our data, 13% of our data is compressed. Okay, because generally the original data is in the string format, that is in the characters. Okay, that is very high than that of the your hexadecimal information. Okay, so that automatically you will be get the less size. That is compressed data is the hexadecimal number, and our original data is in the character strings. Okay. So this character stream data is converted as the hexadecimal number so that it reduces the size of the data. Okay. Okay, this is the example for compressing a file into the required, that is into the less size than that of the original data. Okay, next we'll see how to decompress a string. Okay. So for this we'll use a method is decompress method. Okay, using this we can decompress the data. Okay, here the data is given as compressed data. Okay. Compressed data is specified here so that it decompresses the data and shows the original data. Okay, here the arguments are for the decompress function. Data is the compressed data. Window bits is the maximum window bits that are allowed for the compression, and buffer size. Okay, in the meanwhile of a compressing of a data, it need to store the previous data into the buffer. Okay, for that buffer size is given. Okay, now this is an example for the decompress. Okay. So JLib library is imported. Hello world is our actual data. First we are compressing a data, then we are decompressing the data. Okay, jlib.compress data with a two level of a compression so that it compresses the data and stores into the compressed data. Okay. So now use the decompress function, okay, to decompress this compressed data. Compressed data is decompressed and stored into the decompressed data variable that is shown to the output. So I'll get again the hello world data. Okay. So that we need to first compress, and that data is to be used for decompress. Otherwise you can compress the data and you can store in your global variable. In the same variable you can use to decompress the data. Okay. Okay, this is the example for decompression. Okay. So this is the decompressing of the file data. Okay. Okay, first we will we'll take a file and we'll read the file, and we will compress the data of the file, then decompress the same data. Okay, for that open the file, the required data file to be opened in the read in the binary mode. Okay, then read the data from the file and store it into a variable. Okay, so now we'll compress this file data, compressed data, sorry, here so here one line is missed. Okay, it's not compressed actually. Okay, here one line is missed. Compressed data equals to compress function need to be used, jlib.compress function, then only it will be compressed. Okay, then the compressed data to be decompressed using the decompress function. Okay, so then you'll get the original data. Okay, say for example the file data is the hello world, that is compressed first, then decompressed again, you'll get the original data. Or you can take any file, okay, that you can compress first and you can decompress next. Okay, this is the file information. This file may be any image, or maybe a text file, or maybe any document, or maybe any PPT, or maybe any video. Okay, you can take any file data. Okay, that can be read as a binary information, and that is compressed and decompressed again. Okay, this is an example for decompressing of a data from a file. So is there any doubts in these two modules, date and time and compression of information? Is there any doubts in these two modules? Okay, no doubts. Okay, we'll see a small example on this. 1 second. Import from date time. Okay, we'll import the date class first. Okay. So now we'll display the first current date. Print the today's date. Okay, today's date is this. Date dot year to print the year of the date. Okay, we'll create an object, then we will perform that. Print tt dot year. Okay, from the object only you can get these variables. Okay, previously I used date dot year. Okay, because year is a instance variable, it's not a class variable. Okay, so that you are getting an error. Okay, now print the dt dot day. Print dt dot month. Okay, so now we'll create a time object from date time. Import time. Okay. Okay, we'll create a normal time object. Okay. Time, hours, minutes, and seconds. Okay, now we can retrieve the individual values. Print t dot hours, hour, t dot minutes, and t dot seconds. Okay. So now we'll check with the datetime class. Datetime, import datetime. Okay. So now we'll try to retrieve the today's date and time. Print datetime dot today. Okay, today's date and time. Okay. So from this you can get the date and time individually, like print. First we will throw that in your object. tt equals to datetime dot today. Okay. So now you can print the individual information. dt dot hour. Okay, hour of the current time. Print dt dot minutes. Print dt dot strf time, which shows the complete date and time in our required format. Okay. Percentage, years, percentage month, percentage day, percentage hours, colon, percentage minutes, colon, percentage seconds. Invalid format string. So once check this format and apply. Okay, some of the letters to be in the capital. So this is the example for the datetime module. Okay, simply you can use this datetime module to display the date and times in your programs of the Python. Okay. So from this you can get the different other information also. Okay. And next we will see the compressing and decompressing of the information. Import JLib. So we imported the JLib package. Okay, now I will create a one string variable str equals to welcome to compress module. Okay, this is the string data. Now I will compress this data. Okay, c data equals to str dot compress of str comma 2 is the level of compression. Here JLib dot compress str comma 2. So we compress the data. Bytes like object is required or not str. Okay, maybe it is treating as a built-in object. st we will take. ST is not defined. Okay, 1 second. So I will show you another example. Okay, here it's not executing. So meanwhile, we'll go to the next module. So I will next move on to the GI programming module. Okay, that is the TK Inter module. So using this, we can prepare the our GI programming items. Okay. So GI programming TK Inter module. Binary ASCII is for displaying of information in the hexadecimal, but it is not accepting the input itself. So input మనకు accept చేయట్లేదు. యాక్చువల్గా నేను ఆ ప్రీవియస్ ఐడిఎల్ఈలో వర్క్ చేసినప్పుడు యాక్సెప్ట్ చేసింది, బట్ నోట్బుక్ లో యాక్సెప్ట్ చేయట్లేదు అది. సో నార్మల్ స్ట్రింగ్ డేటా ఇట్స్ నాట్ యాక్సెప్టింగ్. ఎయిదర్ యూ కెన్ టేక్ ఏ ఫైల్. So we can create one text file and we can give that file as the input. Okay, then it will be considered as a binary information. Okay. So we'll start with the GI programming. So GI programming has a different modules. Okay, like what is mean by the GI first? Graphical user interface module. Okay, graphical user interface is nothing but whenever you are working with the Windows based operating systems, okay, we get the different types of dialogues. Okay, whenever you open a file or whenever you are saving a file, so whenever you are searching for any information, okay, we get the different types of the GI tools. Okay, each and every Windows operating system items are the GI tools. Okay, those tools you can create in your applications, and you can create your own GI based applications using the Python. Okay, for that you can use the 3 modules of the Python. The first module is the tkinter module. Another one is the either you can create with the wx Python. Another one is the jpython. Using any one of these 3, you can create the GI applications. Okay. So generally GI applications has different types of controls like buttons, text boxes, radio buttons, check boxes, combo boxes. Okay, those all you can create and you can display a GI application. Okay, so for that you can use any of these 3 modules. tkinter module is will be get with the TLK. Okay, the package you need to be installed is the TLK package. Okay, using this package you will be get the tkinter module. Okay, so this is to be installed. Okay. So next we will see with the tkinter package, tkinter module, tkinter programming or GI programming. Okay, first we need to install the TLK. Okay, then you can import the tkinter module into your application. Okay, then we will create the required GI application. That is, first we need to create the main window. Okay, that is the window is to be created first. Okay, then we can create the number of controls. The controls is here called as the widgets. Okay, widgets is called as like buttons, text boxes, radio buttons, those all. Okay, then we can raise the some events and we can execute those events related code. Okay. So first is we need to create a window and then we can create the required controls. Okay, then we can execute the events on that particular controls. Okay. Now first creating a normal plain window. Okay, for that first we need to import the tkinter module. Okay. Then call the method tkinter.tk, which creates a one blank window. Okay, so which creates a one pattern, that is one default window. Okay, which has the icon that is as a tk and minimize and maximize and close buttons. Okay, and frame of the window. Okay. So at the end of the code you need to mention the top.main loop. Okay, this it starts that window. The main window will be started and you will be get the display of the main window. Okay. So meanwhile in the middle of these 2 you can write your required code and you can create the required controls, those to be added for your main window. Okay. Okay, this is the initial code we need to write to display a minimum window in the output. Okay, next we'll see the list of the widgets that are available to work with the GI programming. Button, this is to display the button control and we can accept the required action from the button. Okay, whenever a button is clicked, then we can perform some action like accepting the information or cancelling of information or performing any calculations. Okay, those all we can do with the button control. Canvas is generally used for the drawing. Okay, we can draw the different types of shapes and we can draw the different types of polygons and lines and others. Okay, within our window, if you want to show the any shapes as a part of the window, then you can use the canvas or you can show the images also. And check button, okay, this is generally like this. You'll be getting one small square box. Okay, this is used for check. Okay, either like a tick mark or you can be used blank. Okay. Entry, this is the text box. Okay. You can use to enter some text in the box. Okay, this is used for text box, text entries. And frame, this is used to combine the more than one controls as a group. Okay, generally used for the radio buttons. Whenever you want to make a group of radio buttons and form as a single group, okay, and out of that you want to select the any one. Okay, then you can use the frames. Label is to show the simple messages in your GUI window, like enter your name, enter a number, or enter the date of birth. Like if you want to show any statements or any sentences in your window, then you can use the label. And list box is to show the multiple values at a time. Okay, this will be displayed like this, like here you can be have multiple values. Okay, that is something like your file dialog. File within the file dialog, you will be get the list of all the files available in the current folder. Okay, that is the list box. And menu button. Okay, this is for main windows. That is within the window you can generally observe like a file menu, edit menu, view menu, window menu. Okay, those menus you can create with the menu button. And menu control, that is menu button is the individual item in the menu, and menu is the group of menu buttons. Okay, the group of menu buttons is a menu. Okay, and message control. Okay, this is used for multiple line text box. Okay, that is whenever you want to type a multiple lines, like a paragraph of a matter or something else. Okay, then you can use the message box. And radio button, this is like this. Okay, this is a circle. Okay, multiple values you have, multiple options you have. Out of that, you can select the any one. Okay, either first one, second one, or third one. Okay, here you have the some captions, red, green, blue, or something like this. And scroll bars. Okay, generally for the windows, you can observe the right side, the scroll bar, vertical scroll bar. Okay. And some windows have the horizontal scroll bar at the down of the window. Okay, those scroll bars you can create with this. And text widget to to display the multiple lines of a text. The same you can use with the message and the text. And top level widget, it's another window which we can create as a parent window for the current window. And spin box, okay, this is used generally for the fixed number of values like this. You'll be have this type of a control. Okay, you have one triangle here and another triangle here. Okay, you can click on these buttons, you can increase or decrease the numbers. Okay, that is called as a spin box. Okay, pinned window. And label frame, you can combine the multiple labels as a one group. And TK message box, this is used to show the simple message dialogues. Like whenever you are closing the window, you will be get a message as, are you sure you want to close the window? Okay, those boxes are the message boxes. Okay, that type of a message box you can show with the TK message box. Okay. Okay, these are the different widgets that we have within the TK Inter, and using these you can create the required GUI windows. Okay, we'll see the 2 or 3 examples on this. Okay, so that you can easily understand that okay, how to create the GUI windows and how to work with them. Okay. So whenever you are going to the next second year, you may be do some projects using the Python. Okay, then you can use these GUI windows to develop your interfaces for the projects. And this is the example to display the button here. Okay, first we use the TK Inter module is imported. Then message box module is imported. Then created the TK object to create the topmost window. And this is the method which is to be executed for the button click. Okay. So define a function as hello callback TK message box dot show info. Okay. Okay, this message box, we are showing the message box. So the message is hello Python and hello world. you'll be get the message box like this. Hello Python is the title. Hello world is the message. Okay, OK is a button. Okay, this is the message box in the tkinter. Okay, now we created the button tkinter.button off. Okay, where you need to create the button? Okay, in the top window. So top, comma text is the hello, that is caption on the button is the hello, and command is nothing but which method you want to execute when the button is clicked. So command equal to hello callback, this method, hello callback method, this we are specifying to that. Okay, so that it calls that particular method whenever the button is clicked. Okay, then after creating the button, then attach that button to the your window b.pack. Okay, this properly attaches the button to the topmost window. Okay. Then top.main loop. Okay, then it executes the top window, and you will be get the output like this. Okay, top window. Okay, with the tk and open, close, and maximize buttons. Hello is the button. Whenever you click on the hello button, you will be getting this message box with the hello world as the message. Okay. So this is a simple example to show a button and display the message for that button click. Okay. So is it clear? Okay, next, this is the example for to show the text entry. Okay. Here we are creating a one label control. Okay, that is attached to the top, that is topmost window. Text is the username, and pack that label control to the left of the window, to the left side of the window. By default, it is packed at the center of the window, so that we are moving it to the left. Okay, left side of the window. And next, create an entry box. Okay, with the width of the 5, that is with the breadth as the 5. Okay, next, add the text box to the right of the window and open the main window. Okay, we created the one text box and one label. Okay, like this, you will be get the output. Okay. Username is the text and text box. Here you can enter the some text in the text box. Another one radio button example. Okay. So here we are creating a radio buttons. One is the R1 radio button, R2 radio button, and R3 radio button. Okay, with the values as. Okay. So root is created as the main window. Okay, root as the main window. So for that root window, we are adding all the windows. Okay, all the radio buttons. Text as the option 1, option 2, and option 3. And variables are here we are giving a same variable name. Okay, because all the options to be formed as a one group, and from out of these 3 radio buttons, you need to be select only one radio button. Okay, so that we need to give the same variable name. Values are different again, 1, 2, 3, and command is a same method. That is, we are using the same function to execute for these 3 radio buttons. Okay. And after adding these 3 radio buttons, here I have a method function. Okay, it's a SCL function, okay, which shows that your selected option str of var.get. Var is the variable name of the radio button dot get. Okay, it gets the value of that radio button. Okay, label.config. Here we are getting a one label, and that is config with this text. Okay, whatever the text we have created, selection text. Okay, that you are showing with the label button, label control. And here we have created a one label control, and that is attached to the main window. And for that label, we are showing this message. Okay. Within that label, it shows the message. Okay. And open the main window. Okay, this is a simple example with the 3 radio buttons, and whenever a particular radio button is clicked, then it shows that message in the label, the below label. Okay, here it shows the option selected. Okay. Okay, this is the one example. And these are the 3 examples for the GUI programming module. Okay. Okay, is there any doubts in this GUI programming module? Okay, we'll see one small example for this GUI programming. Okay, then we will stop the today's class. Okay, here I am doing that example from the our IDLE. I will show already existing example. Subjects. Okay, there's a radio buttons example. Okay, that we have seen in the presentation. You selected the option str.get label.config equal to text equal to section. Okay. So this we will execute. F5, it executes that particular window. Okay, this is that window. Okay, there are the three options, option 1 and option 2 and option 3. Whenever you select a particular option, you will get the message as you selected the option 1. Whenever you select the second one, you will get the option 2. Whenever you select the third one, option 3. Okay, this is the one example of the GI program. Okay, like this you can create the number of controls and you can design your application. Okay, next we'll see one more example. Okay, this is the menu example. Okay, here we are creating the menus like a new open, save, save as, close, exit. That is a one file menu. With this file menu, we have these all options. Okay, so first we'll create a menu bar equal to menu of root. Okay, then we will create the required menus. Menu of menu bar, that is this menu to be added to the menu bar, and pair of is the 30. That is it should be hide. Whenever you click on that, then only it has to show. So file menu is the object, and for that file menu object, I am adding a different labels, different menus, new, open, save, save as, close, and then add a separator. That is just it adds a one horizontal line. Then add the exit. Okay, if the file menu name is the file, okay, that is to be added to the menu bar. Then create another menu as a edit menu. Okay, for that the menu items are undo, cut, copy, paste, delete, and select all. Another menu is the help menu. Okay, within this two menu options, help, index, and about. Okay, okay, now root.config of menu equals to menu bar. Okay, menu bar is added to the root window, and then display the root window. Okay, so whenever any of these menu options are clicked, okay, just we are showing a window. Okay, that is file win equals to top level of root. Okay, so for that root, in the root window, we are showing a small another window, okay, which is created with a one button, okay, button control, do nothing button. Okay, whenever you create on any of these options, you'll get a one small window. Within that, you'll get a one button as do nothing button, do nothing message button. Okay, so I'll see the output for this. Okay, so this is the output. Here we have three menus: file, edit, and help. Whenever you click on the file, you'll get the options as new, open, save, save as, close, exit. Edit also you have these options. Help is two options. Okay, if you click on the any of the option, okay, it shows another small window, okay, which has do nothing button. Okay, it doesn't do anything, so that do nothing button. Close the window, and again you'll get the previous window. You click on the any of the option, it shows this window. Okay, just for the action of the menu options, we created this small window. Okay, so this is the another GUI controls example, menu control example. Okay, like this you practice the other examples with the Tkinter module. Okay, and you can create the different types of GUI windows by your own. Okay, and those will be useful for your next year projects. Okay. Okay, so for today this is the last topic. And in the next class, we will see the our pattern matching, that is regular expressions, and we will go for the turtle graphics, test module, and threading module. Okay, we have the 4 modules for the next day's class. Okay, that is the last class for our unit 5. Okay, I'll complete that 4 modules in the next class. Okay, tomorrow at 3 to 4. Okay, 3 to 4 you have a tomorrow class again. Okay, fine. Thank you. You can leave from the meeting.